Hey everybody, Mark from the Geek Church here, and welcome back to Lego Technic Corner. We've got a great lesson for you today. It's basically called Give It Wheels, Give It Motion. And we're going to discuss something that Technic was, I believe, made for vehicles and putting those vehicles into motion and how to take control of them. I want to discuss certain pieces that are going to help us get into motion. For starters, I want to start with this one. This is a battery pack, and basically this has been a particular empty one I have because they do require batteries, about 6 AA's on each side. And I have to admit, these guys come with some nice through holes on the side, so you can attach it to your project very easily, and you can turn it on at the top, and it's very easy to forget that this thing is on and then the batteries are drained in it. I recommend using rechargeables because, hey, batteries run out all the time. And rechargeables are a little bit more expensive, but hey, at least you can use them over and over again. So, for example, this particular thing, I don't know, this thing looks like it's used for train cars or something. I don't even know if I've ever really used this before, honestly. But I have it, but as you can see, and I'm going to demonstrate this more as this lesson goes on, but basically you stick it on here and now you got power to it. I'm not going to turn it on because I don't have any wheels on. They're connected to it, and I'm not even sure if they make this part anymore, so hey, that's that. Okay, so with the demonstration of the power pack, I want to show you how it works on a particular model I'm working on. Okay, in my book of Practical Lego Techniques, I talked about how to make a car frame. It kind of looks like this. Now I've recently kind of did some alterations on that car frame. This is basically what it looks like. You'll notice there's just no wheels on it right now. And essentially I used the power pack here as kind of a framing for it. I attached pretty much everything to it, and it serves as kind of the, let's see, I don't know, focal point. I'm not really sure what the proper term is, but you can see when I turn this on, there's a light there. That's an indicator light showing the batteries aren't working. And honestly, the switch is really tricky. There's times where I think the switch is engaged and it's not. The light is, of course, the only thing you can use on that to make sure that it is. These things are sort of like the fenders for the wheels here. And what I did was I decided to make it so these wheels can essentially be put back on and snapped on very quickly, and I'll explain to you why. I'm going to start with these wheels. This is just a simple axle that I made. As you can see, these wheels are just freely doing this. This is probably just essentially, a lot of our cars have front wheel drive or perhaps rear wheel drive, and I'm assuming that they have something like this, a mechanism that just keeps these wheels just there, and they're just there to spin and hold up the car. Now fortunately I made it so I can just stick it on there. So let's give this guy let's just put this guy on here. And okay, so here we go. These things will roll, and roll they will. Now, I want to bring out, this is an engine that I've made here. And basically what it is, I'll give you a close-up. This is a motor that the sets used to come with. This is a bigger motor than some of the others I'm going to show you with. What I want to show you is that this is attached to a gear right here. Then this is a differential. And basically what happens is when this motor spins this gear, and I'm not sure I can really demonstrate this. Okay. It will also spin these tires. And you know what? I'm just going to hook it up here. This one got really complicated when I started to put this on. But I want to just snap it into place here. Okay, that took a little work to get on there. And all right, as you can see, now here's the problem that sometimes you run into. You got these cords and they don't exactly stretch to this. However, I'm going to show a little demonstration here. We're going to use one of these. Now, haven't really talked about this before, but essentially this is a really cool thing that essentially allows you to take control. How does it work? Simple. You just attach it to your motor. Hang on, let me get a better view of it. Like this. Okay. Now I put these little things on here so I could just put this on here. And let's see. Okay, actually I better move this down here. So let's see if I can do that. All right, and I can. So, all right. Now you'll notice that there are two spots here, one red and one blue. Why is that important? I will show you. Let's put it on the red, and I'll explain why. Okay, that's locked into place here. This is locked in place here. I'm going to turn the motor on. I'm going to turn the battery on. Now, what's going to happen is I have a controller I can use. Okay, this is my controller right here. And as you can see, it's got a red and a blue function. You may also notice this switch here as well as these two switches here. What do they do? Well, I'll show you. This thing on here, as you notice, it has a particular thing. See how this is all the way down here? I can click it up and down. And this one has a very similar function here. Right down there. Now this should be calibrated so it's in the right frequency. Sometimes they don't match up, and sometimes it just takes a little while for it to get it, and it should. Now this is on the red right here, and this is in the blue. And as you can see, we have a red and blue. So let's see. Now the battery is on. This is in place. This is attached to this, and then this goes into the motor. So let's see what happens. All right, see that? Something I want you to notice is, all right, see how this thing is connected here? This is called a differential. And this is really great because it has a few gears that allow it to spin, and that causes the other wheel to spin. So with that in mind, let's check this out on the ground, see how it works. All right. Forwards and backwards. Sometimes these things don't quite sync up, but this one is pretty decent. Okay, as you can see, it works pretty well. Okay, I went ahead and I took the wheels off, or the motor and the non-motorized axle, and I just basically put it down to its basic forms so I can show these two guys. All right. I'm going to show you a car that you can make that has a very simple motorized design. And you can use any one of these here, because see this? This is a style of motor that, again, I'm not sure whether Lego makes this anymore, but essentially the only through holes were really in the front, and they made this kind of thing here that you can attach traditional Lego studs to. I found it very hard to work because I had to really reinforce it here. I don't have really instructions for it, but you can just I just want you to take a look at it and see how it is done here. So basically, that's what I did for that. Now, I had a recent set that had two motors as well. And these guys are very big and thick, and I kind of liked them. And I set them up for this. They got lots of through holes on there, so they're very easy to work together. And they're joined together, and they're joined together really strong. So I'm going to show you something here. I'm just going to put it on here. Hopefully this will be very simple to do. And, okay. All right, I got that guy on here. But here's the thing, we got to get power to it. But the problem is we've got this thing here. And we could, if we had just attached it here, actually, maybe I'll just demonstrate this. If we attach this here, and this right here, right on top of each other like this. Okay, then the only thing that's going to happen is this. It's just going to, you turn on the battery, and that's going to make the wheels go. If that's what you want, great. But I want to take more control of it. The issue is, there's ways to do this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put on this particular axle piece. This is the freestanding one. And I'll show you why. Okay, so now we have this car here. But let's take control of it. And we're going to use this same piece that we've used before, but this time, all right, let's see. We're going to put this in front wheel drive. And I'm going to give you a demonstration of why we're going to do that. You can get your wires crossed really easily. Okay, so, all right, okay. Here we have our controller right here. Let's see. Since red is on the left, I definitely want to wire the this motor on the left here. So that should power the left motor. And this should power the right motor. So that's there. And then we stick this on here, like so. Okay, so basically, let's see. Right motor, left motor, and then into the thing, and then we'll turn on the battery with bind as indicated by the indicator light. And we'll just do a little test on this, just to make sure we got this set up right. Okay, this looks like the right controller for this. They're all calibrated. So, okay, that one's going forward. That one's going forward as well. Now, this is a great vehicle because it's got really instinctual steering controls. I'm going to give you a demonstration of it right now. Okay, here it is on the ground. I'm going to try this really easily. We push both forward. Goes forward. Push both backward. Whew. Okay, let's do some other tricks. What if we were just take one forward? Okay, as you can see, there's kind of a steering thing going on here because we're kind of messing with the controls one at a time. There you go. So we can do all kinds of tricks with this guy. Very simple controls, just one in front, one in back. It couldn't be simpler, honestly. Not bad at all. However, there's got to be more I can do, right? Okay, I decided to take off this free spinning axle here, and you're going to figure out why very quickly. Because I want to see what happens when I've got this guy on here. This guy is 2 engines, plus other 2 engines. That's 4 engines on this one car alone. How's it going to do? I don't know, but I got to set it up. Okay, that's got to be the easiest installation I've ever done. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to require a few things. One of them is going to be 2 of these guys, but I happen to have 2 of them, so that's cool. And let's see, I got to put this one on the other side. Okay. And we're going to attach that to the battery, which is off right now. Okay, good. Okay. Now, this will need to be attached here. Yeah, these things, I designed it to be a bit too loosey as far as attachment. Okay, so this guy is on the left, and the controller's on the left, so I'll take him to red. This guy's on the right. I can take him there. Okay. All right. Actually, I believe that's a good setup. Now we're going to turn it on. And we're going to need more than one controller to control this, right? Fortunately, I have another one. I'm going to go with this guy. Check him out. I'm going to just attach them together. So now I've got this mega remote. Now, so let's see. I got to make sure they're all calibrated. This guy on the left is going to control the 2 front tires. Let's see if it's calibrated. Okay, and notice how I got these little axles here that I just stuck in just to give a little bit of a thing here. So Then we got these two back tires, which should, okay. All right, I think I better switch them because I've put these two on the back, so I'm gonna need to switch out some of these things. These are some of the wires and stuff like that that you gotta learn when you're working with Lego. Build and rebuild, just like I said last time. So, okay. All right, let's try it now. Okay. It should be working as I suspected. Let's try it. Here in front, hopefully we can get that in the shot right now. Oh, look at how fast that went. Let's bring it back to us. Okay, so you can do some like lots of crazy stuff here. Yeah, check out that. Ah, oh man, this thing's full of tricks. But you gotta know, as far as like, you gotta make sure you're doing this right, because if this isn't stable, I've had this before. Some of these wheels just kind of fall off because there's a lot of stress for this to take here. If you build it strong, you can do a lot. And I've seen models where people just drop these things and then they can just take care of like some of those Tyco RC remote controls here. So crazy stuff. Let's also, I don't think I've noticed this or I mentioned this, but sometimes these things can get out of sync and they don't quite work the first time you use them. Yep, see, I mean, I'm using it right now and I don't know why it doesn't work sometimes, but sometimes it works others. Maybe it's proximity, it's trying to figure out some stuff. Who knows? But whatever the case, zippy zip zip. Woohoo, trippy trip trip. There we go. Woohoo, yeah. That's how you give your vehicles some life. Okay, we did a lot today on Lego Corner, showing some cool vehicles. Next week, I want to discuss a lot of power functions and how you can make stuff do a lot of great things besides just making stuff go and wheels turning, though that is important. Also, I didn't really discuss other ways of making wheels turn. They have a lot of these things. These are like rubber band kind of things. Or I don't know if they got rubber bands in them, but they certainly are elastic enough. You just basically turn it, release, wheels spin. Pretty simple. They've got a lot of these. Technic has a lot of basic models which have a lot of these pullback functions. Definitely get them if that's what you're into. Also, I didn't really discuss this particular controller. It's kind of like the other one, except they have these kind of turning mechanisms here instead of like the kind of like pull forward lever type models. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of things I didn't really discuss in this. This is basically just your basic motor lesson. But we're going to discuss how to make things even steer next week, as well as, or at least better steering functions, more natural, kind of like on regular cars, rather than just putting an engine in one and an engine in the other. Real car doesn't work that way. It shouldn't. Anyway, this has been Mark from the Geek Church, and join us next week for Lego Technic Corner, Part 4.